John Floorward show fans. This is that show that you're a fan of. I'm your host, John Forward. I'm here, not live, but I'm recording this in the comedy condo room in the lovely Westin Hotel in Halifax, Nova Scotia. The show's still going on, but this was my big Yuck Yucks debut. I was working here all weekend. I did a show on Thursday, another one on Friday, and this is Saturday night. And tonight wasn't so good. That's why I'm here feeling sorry for myself in the hotel room. Thursday night wasn't bad. There was only about 20 people, which it's a room that holds about 160, 175, so 80 people was a little thin, or not 80 people, 20 people, but I've done shows for less than 20 people, and it was fine. I did pretty good as you can do for 20 people in a big room, and I had a good time. Francois Weber, the host, and Nick Beaton, the headliner, both did great. We had a guest spot from Ryan Freed on Friday. He did good too. It was a fun night, and then Saturday was hit or miss. There was more room. There was more people. There was at least twice that. When I asked in the afternoon, they said 45, but there's probably more that showed up after that, and that was a pretty good show. There was a little bit of loud talking in the audience. I had to address that a couple of times, but I did well, except when I had to stop and tell like a couple of people there was a bachelor party, and there was another couple of guys over on the other side that were quite not yelling stuff at the stage, but just having conversations. I tried to address it, but it didn't stop. But I did well while I was doing well. There was some breaks in the flow because of that, but it was still a great time. Everybody did great too. Again, the talking was throughout the show, but it eventually did settle down for Nick Beaton to close us out. Martin Edwards had a guest spot last night, and he did great. Tonight, Saturday, was sold out, packed house. Unfortunately, it was a packed house that was some kind of a fundraiser for some sort of youth girls sports team to go somewhere, which is fine. This is my first time doing a show in front of a fundraiser type audience. Not exactly my style. I was at the beginning of the show. I was kind of looking over my notes, see what I could maybe do to change it up if I'm a little too dirty for them. But I was going to start out with my set that I've been doing all weekend and doing pretty good with. I'd start out with my Bible camp joke, which is a crowd pleaser. As much as I have a crowd pleaser, that would be it. And then I did a newer my prostitution bit, which is it usually does pretty good. I like it, and most audiences I've done it in front of have agreed that they liked it. And then I was going to finish with Diamond the Stripper, which is another fan favorite, but Bible camp was even a little bit too dirty for them. I think I lost them early on. There was some people walking outside to look at the silent auction items, which good for them if they weren't enjoying it. Go out and check out those gift certificates and such, but there was plenty of people that stuck around and hated every minute of it. I got a couple of laughs early on, but something happened along the way, and I'm not proud of this. It's something that a comedian should be able to overcome, but I just lost them at one point. There was some ladies yelling out things to me like, cut it off, shut it down, stop. Not enthusiastic consent for me to continue with my comedy. The comments started getting really heavy about 80%, 90% of the way into the prostitution bit. I'm coming in for the landing. I make a joke like, oh, you're really gonna like my next one. And that got no laughs, and I got about 2 sentences in to Diamond. They didn't even like my joke about, just usually audiences like it when you say local things. The last 2 nights, whenever I talked about Ralph's strip club in Dartmouth, everybody laughed their butts off, but not tonight. I got about 2 sentences in and heard another, go away! And I'm an empathetic person, and I don't want to punish these people. They're not having a good time. I'm not having a good time. As a last-ditch effort, like, hey, maybe it's just a couple of cranky old bastards who don't like it. But I was like, you guys have had enough? Should I get off the stage? Big round of applause. Woo! Get the fuck out of here, John Floorward. Sorry about the swears, but I'm a little raw still. This happened probably a half hour ago, so I've retreated up to the comedy condo as a shame spiral. I thought about it at the beginning, like I was starting to think what material could I do instead, but it wouldn't have been as well prepared. I thought maybe my Taco Bell joke, it's got swears. They don't seem to mind that. Ian Black and Nick Beaton, like I said, they're doing great. Still doing great, I assume. It wasn't a bad audience. They're just not a good John Forward audience, and it's my responsibility that I should have been of that audience, John Forward. But by the time they were actively demanding that I exit the stage, I figured I might as well do that, because I couldn't think of any jokes off the top. Maybe Taco Bell would have won them back, but by that point, when they're demanding that you leave the stage so that the people that they like can come back, it's hard to just go change gears like that and go into a new bit with any kind of enthusiasm, because I've tried that before where I'm doing disastrously and then I'm like, okay, I'll win them back with this one, and then the one that I think is gonna like take us to the next level ends up failing miserably also. That's when the cutting starts. But I exited. I don't know if Yuck Yucks is going to be mad at me for not doing my allotted time. I probably did like 15 minutes instead of 20 to 25. I don't know if that means that I'm never going to come back again, or if this is just part of the thing and sometimes shit happens. Comedians know that, but I don't know how the workings of the place work. But I'm glad that they had me down here and gave it a shot. I hope that I'll have another chance to do it sometime, and maybe have some other stuff prepared for if it's that kind of an audience. I need to be able to switch gears instead of just, this is what I'm doing, fuck it. It's not great, but I don't know if I could have won them back tonight. Maybe, but probably not. So I don't have my joke book. This is normally 10,000 jokes, toasts, and stories times. That's what I should have had. That's what I was missing. I should have brought 10,000 jokes, toasts, and stories up on stage with me, and when they got mad at me, I should have started doing stuff from that. I think that's, but now I can't even do it when I'm supposed to do it here on the John Floorward show. I guess I could give you a sample of a couple of the jokes that I did tonight that did get laughs. First one was, I walk up on stage, I see all the pictures of people, like other comedians that have performed in the club on the wall, and I said how happy I was to be here, and maybe someday my picture will be hanging up on this wall, but for now I've got to settle for out in front on the TV. They've got the show thing, and it says John Forward, and then there's a white oval above it that says image not available. And I said, well, I am a white oval, so it works. Ha 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 ha! That's funny jokes. They loved it. And a dirty one that they liked was talking about how nice it was being out of St. John with its stinky pulp mill and oil refinery to come down to Halifax where it only smells like human piss and shit. It's organic. I could have had them if I just kept that momentum going, but I said pussy like 20 times because I'm a stupid idiot. And it didn't work out, but this is normally the spot where I would get out a gun and shoot myself in the head, but it's been done, people. We need to move on because there's more shows to do and lots of opportunities to redeem myself for you, the fans, and for me, myself. I forgot to mention last night, the talking show. I was outside in the parking lot and these two military guys came up to me and they started telling me how much they enjoyed my material and how much they loved the set and how funny I was, and they were asking me, like, they were talking because I was super edgy and if I ever like have to water my stuff down, and I'm like, those are my crowd pleasing jokes because I'm super tough. I'm a badass motherfucker. And then it found out, and then they started complaining about how the Yuck Yucks guy kept telling them to be quiet, and that was rude. And I was like, oh, you guys are the loud ones that I had to ask to shut up 4 times. And they, oh, well, we didn't know. Weren't yelling stuff at the stage. Apparently they were just talking to these 2 girls. The guy that works here says they were being very creepy and harassing these 2 girls. I'm not sure how that makes it better. They said that they didn't know that you could hear it, but that's done. Those are my fans. They love me, but they talk through my set better than tonight's show. But it is what it is. So we've got more shows coming up, including No Jokes Barred at the R Bar next Saturday, September 17th in St. John, New Brunswick. We've got a whole list of people. A lot of them haven't done the show before, and the people that have done it before, it's been a little while. I don't have the list in front of me. I don't need to take the time to look it up on my phone, but after that, on whatever the first Friday of October is, I will look that one up. That's, I think it's October 5th. Why won't my phone recognize my fingerprint? It's probably like, that's the fingerprint of a failure. That's not usually the person that's using this phone. October 7th at O'Leary's, we've got, all the way from America, the Reverend Brian Giles is headlining No Jokes Barred Deluxe at O'Leary's, and then I think that's it. I don't know if there's anything else that I'm forgetting. I'll throw them in the slideshow at the end of the thing, but I think that's all I got. So I'm going to keep feeling sorry for myself until the next show, and until then, I've been John Floorward, and this is the John Floorward Show.
Nobody listens to a whispering fool. Are you listening? I didn't think so. I've been quiet as a church house mouse.